Hi again, Wallace.
Hello, Alicia.
Nice to see you.
Great, great, yeah.
Wallace, I know I've been asking quite general questions, and I'm learning an awful lot from you about the nature of spirituality, about the ego. And today I thought that I wondered if it would be okay if I came to you with maybe a personal question,
Yeah.
or a question more personal in nature.
Could I just come in there and say,
Yeah.
I'm very glad Lisa is asking me a personal question because spirituality is practical. People have this idea that spirituality is up with the clouds, but it's a very practical understanding and a practical awareness. So I'm delighted you're asking me a practical question because it'll really help bring that across for the viewer, yeah.
Yeah, and also I think practical skills are so important because we've to live our lives, but yeah, it's good to have help or to know how to tackle something personal. So my question was, I've gotten into a lovely routine, and I know a lot of people have struggled with lockdown and with COVID, for the pandemic, the times we live in. And so I'm certainly not being in any way smug about, being in a nice routine, but I've kind of rolled with it, and I've gotten into a routine where it's me. I'm on summer holidays at the moment because I'm a teacher, primary school teacher, and I live with my two daughters, and we have a lovely routine at home. And my eldest daughter is working, doing COVID testing, and my youngest daughter is on her school holidays. So even before the holidays, we had established a lovely routine in the house. We have 3 birds as well, so there are 6 of us in the house essentially. And I've gotten into a lovely kind of a more simple way of life, which I really enjoy. But yet, part of me, and I feel guilty saying this because I know I am happy and grateful for the life I live and for having 2 wonderful daughters and a great network of friends and family. But part of me is, I'm finding myself getting, it feels monotonous to some extent, and I know I feel guilty saying that, but I feel like I'm on the brink of needing something else, needing change or needing more. So I wondered if you could advise me or tell me how I might tackle that.
Okay, well, I think you're very honest with yourself, first of all, because I think what you're voicing is what an awful lot of people experience in their life, and that is that they need something more.
Yeah.
Right? But they're not sure what the more is.
Absolutely, that's hits the nail on the head.
Yeah. And you see, as human beings, it's very important to understand, human beings, I've said this before, we're different from every other life form on the planet. Because a human being is not happy with boundaries. Right? If you give a human being a boundary, like a regular routine, they'll want to break it at some point and expand beyond those boundaries. If you put a human being in a house, it's 1,500 square feet, they want one 3,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And that's just symbolic of how a human being finds it difficult to accept boundaries in their life. That's because our nature is to expand and to grow. Now, most people, they translate that as growing financially or growing materially, right? But that won't fulfill that ache in your heart, because the real way human being is designed and set up is to grow spiritually.
Yeah, I would believe that too.
Yeah. So the question for you is, how can you use the routine in your life to grow spiritually?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you could turn what is your regular routine into the experience of personal and spiritual growth, you would regard your regular routine in a completely different light, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And your heart and soul would be
In it.
in it and
Yeah.
fulfilled by it. So, if you give me an example of one or two of the things you do in your regular routine that aren't really working for you spiritually, we'll say.
Hoovering up birdseed, does that count? Because I spend way too much time hoovering up birdseed. No, that's a joke. Joking aside, the question is what I do that I consider superfluous,
Yeah.
that I don't want to be doing.
Yeah.
I feel that there's so many hours in the day, and my hours are going to doing. I don't mind hoovering birdseed. That was a joke because I love my birds. But my hours are kind of. I'm not being productive. I'm not. I feel that I'm wasting myself by doing things that aren't productive for the greater good of other people or for the greater good of myself. I feel like I'm just kind of chugging along a little bit, kind of, oh yeah, do a bit of gardening, do a bit of reading, do a bit of this, do a bit of that, but I'm not growing.
Yeah. I'd
Does
agree.
that-
I'd agree.
Yeah.
You're not growing. So, what we want to look at initially is to grow in your regular routine. So, we don't want to bring in any big major revolution in your life because that's so disruptive, right? But I'm not saying that that won't happen or it isn't
Okay.
appropriate for that to happen. But what I'm saying is, what small changes can we make
Yeah,
to your life as it is that'll bring you a greater sense of satisfaction,
yes.
and then maybe step on from there.
Yeah, well, I
Right.
like that idea because, as I said at the beginning, it's not that I'm not happy in my life. I'm happy, but I just feel that I could be that bit more productive. But I know that my girls are happy that I'm there with them so much and that I, do things with them. So I don't want to upset the apple cart too much because my life is very fulfilling in its own way, but just not, I suppose, in a personal way.
Right. Okay, so for example, give me an example of something in your personal life that is not fulfilling.
Not fulfilling. Wasted hours, I think. Just feeling, what did I do today? What did I actually do? I'm trying to think of something concrete. It's more the lack of something concrete. It's more the lack of something that makes me go, oh, that was a great day. I got all of that done. I've helped someone. I've been a good friend. I've achieved something. It's more the lack of something. I don't know if I can give you a concrete example because my days are pretty humdrum, mostly. This week I've had a more exciting week, but mostly my days are a little bit humdrum. Like, I do feel fulfilled when I teach.
Yeah. So it's something to do with holidays more than teaching time.
Yeah, I don't know. I do.
Or is it there when you're teaching?
It's there when I'm teaching. When I'm teaching,
Okay.
I feel more productive. I feel more fulfilled because I absolutely adore the children and I love seeing them develop and helping them and having fun with them and all of that. That gives me a lot. But I think in terms of the larger picture of my life, I wonder, am I wasting time? Should I be doing something that's more true to myself?
Okay, so maybe what you're talking about is what is your purpose in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because you're doing things that you feel in your heart and soul aren't an expression of your purpose,
Yeah.
then you're doing them, but they're routine and they're nice and everything,
Yeah.
but it's not fulfilling you fundamentally.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Right. Okay, so to have a purpose in life, it comes back to this old nutshell. It's all about knowing yourself, right? So, do you know who you are at a fundamental level?
Well, I could give you adjectives to describe myself from what I know other people regard me as.
What is it about you, your inner world, your inner self, that needs expressed in the world that's not being expressed at the minute?
That's a good question. I guess I feel I have more to give. And I guess I feel I'm not being... Teaching, much as I love it, is not challenging me. It's not fulfilling me wholly. I enjoy it, I'm good at it, I love the children, but it's just a part of my life. It's not... I just feel I've more to give. I feel I've more to do. I feel like I'm just taking time by. I'm just rolling with it. But yet I'm not... I don't know what I would need to do to challenge myself. I think it would involve making myself uncomfortable, which I don't mind. I don't mind adapting, and I don't mind a challenge.
What I'm going to suggest to you, right, is that as part of the spiritual path that you're on, we have 29 workshops
Okay.
on the 29 biggest challenges that people face in their life, right?
Okay.
Based on research, 4 years research. Now, one of those life challenges is finding your life's purpose.
Okay.
And when we did our research, that was the biggest challenge of people, from research people all over the world, was
I'd say so.
what is my life's purpose? So first thing I want you to feel is you're absolutely not alone in experiencing this. This is very, very common. The second thing is that we have a workshop which is specifically designed with videos and exercises and a facilitator to help you answer that question for yourself. What is my life's purpose?
Okay.
So what I would do is refer you and recommend you to that workshop.
Okay, well, thank you. I'd love to learn my life's purpose, and I'd love to look into it more
Okay.
and figure it out, because it's a big question mark.
Yeah.
You know, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people.
And you know, you're right. It's a big. It's the biggest of all the 29 life challenges we did. Finding your life's purpose was bigger than overcoming fear and anxiety. It was bigger than coping with grief and loss.
Oh yeah.
It was bigger than being a person of integrity. It was bigger than expressing myself. It was the biggest, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to take away from this session the realization that this is your biggest challenge.
I think so, yeah.
And you're not alone. Many people have this challenge, and that we have a workshop specifically designed to help you answer that challenge.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.